is to manipulate us to identify who we are with the physical vehicle we are using to experience this reality, because that sees everything in terms of apartness, it sees everything in terms of limitation. And once you're in what I call body consciousness, which basically filters reality through the five senses, you're into a state of powerlessness, of limitation, of I can't, and crucially, you're in a state of seeing everything as a part, which is the perfect vehicle, the perfect landscape to bring about divide and rule through different religions and...
1 minute break. Let me talk to Ike. David?
Yeah.
Back in 1 minute, and this is key. I'm going to skip the next break for everybody. I may even have the station skip it. We're going to be back in about 1 minute, and then back up, because I want to, before we get into expanding our horizons, expanding and realizing, not just with the spiritual or ethereal or the other wavelengths, but as a species, we live on through our children, and that's why we should stand up against evil to pass better things on to them. You reap what you sow. There's also, concrete things in this dimension, as you say. But I want to briefly get into something you haven't covered in a while, the Satanism. Why are they wanting to, because they say in the black magic, they do these horrible things to bring in the entities, to bring them set, to get power, dark power. Why are the elites into blood and wars and pain and babies being hurt? Why are they into such horrible things? So we're going to...
Yeah, I could get right into that. Could we just cover one thing when we get back, because it goes on from what I've just been talking about. What is this reality? What is this collective reality we're experiencing?
Yeah, let me tell you about the breaks. This is a 5-minute segment, then a 3-minute break, then a 15-minute segment, and then a 5-minute segment, and then a 18-minute segment, and then the show's basically over. So that's
the next 5-minute segment. I could do this easy.
Here we go. We're going live. We're going to go live right now.
Okay.
We are now into hour number 4 on the internet streams. We are number 1 on Shoutcast, period. Number 1 on the web for radio on the internet. And we're not just on the internet, we're on AM and FM, shortwave, satellite. We thank all those affiliates. Okay, David Icke, finishing up with the nature of reality, and then expanding into not just the positive reality and love and light and goodness, but then we're going to get into the dark side and what makes up the enemy. People need to understand that. David Icke.
Well, this is the key, and this might shock a few people when they think about it. But this reality that we are experiencing as solid walls and this apparently solid world is just an illusion. The only place it exists is in our heads, and it is what I call the holographic internet. If I'm in this room now, and if I look around, there's the wireless internet is in this room, but I can't see it. But if I get a computer and I tune it into the wireless internet, suddenly I have a complete worldwide collective reality called the World Wide Web, which can be accessed anywhere in China, though firewalled off to a large extent, Australia, South America, London, anywhere in the world. People can tap in through that computer into the same collective reality. What they make of it is their unique spin, but it's the same reality. And if you said to people, tell me about the internet, they'd say, well, it's graphics and websites and colors and on a screen. Yes, it is. But the only place the internet exists in that form is on the screen, nowhere else. Everywhere else it's electronic circuits, etc. You say to people, tell me about television. They say, well, it's programs that are moving pictures on the screen. Yes, it is. But the only place that television exists in that form is on the screen. Everywhere else, it is electronic circuits and frequency fields, which the television decodes into those pictures. What we do through this physical vehicle, what we call physical anyway, is we're decoding a reality on exactly the same principle, though fantastically more sophisticated, as the wireless internet. And this is where we get our collective reality from. Now, this is vital to the conspiracy, Alex, because if you know this and the people don't, then you can manipulate the way they decode reality to fit what you want those people to do. What is a stage hypnotist doing on a stage? He is manipulating the stooges' sense of reality. In other words, the way they decode reality. So he'll give one, for instance, a potato, and they'll eat the potato, but he beforehand will have programmed the brain, the decoding system, to believe that it's an apple. So as the message goes from the taste buds to the brain as an electrical signal, the brain decodes that not as a potato, but as an apple. You try telling that guy he's not eating an apple because he's tasting it. I went to stage hypnotist shows when I was researching all this, and I watched it happen. I watched people reel back with fantastic smells that never existed, but had just been programmed in. When I say this word, you're going to smell the smell of this. It's all manipulation.
Well, it shows predictive programming, and you know, they have those TV shows where they really do it, and they found in studies that the population is more suggestible, massively more suggestible than they were just 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We're being programmed by TV to be more suggestible, and now everything's like Times Square, where they're taking over reality with blimps and with TV screens, and where everything is becoming this Minority Report world.
And because they know that this information I'm talking about now, they understand this at the shadow people level, and they are programming, just like hypnotists, and they are hypnotists, they're programming the decoding system of the brain to decode reality, this wireless internet, this holographic cosmic internet, if you like, we call the physical world, to decode it in a way that suits them in terms of limitation, in terms of...
And that's what we are. We're all these individual biomechanical machines marching around on the surface of a giant planetoid covered by oceans and a thin ribbon of atmosphere, who are all individually experiencing just a very narrow band of reality, and then they're even trying to program that narrow band and use our social conditioning to keep us in very small parameters, David, correct?
They're trying to isolate us in the body consciousness vehicle, which has an ability to think for itself. It's not just like an ordinary computer. It's a biological computer. It has the ability to think for itself and react to environmental changes. That's what we call physical evolution.
David, we're going to skip this break. It's too important. Only on the InfoWars streams and PrisonPlanet.tv. All right, David, we're going to come back and finish up with what you're saying in 3 minutes, but I don't want to waste any of this time for the huge internet audience. Why don't you continue along this line, but a separate substrata? I mean, give us some microcosm example of the point you were just making.
Well, if you take the stage hypnotist situation, where he's programming into the mind, into the brain, he's actually programming the computer to read reality in a certain way, and then you put it on the collective level. That's what Wolf Blitzer is doing, Alex. That's what people in colleges and schools and academics are doing, often overwhelmingly not because they know that's what they're doing, but these people are hypnotists.
Well, they are products of the system. You take the Delphi technique, one of many corporate techniques. Now, if you watch Fox especially, they talk to you like you're a child, and it's all done in a happy hi. Oh, hi there. You're watching us. You know, before we wanted stern people that it was authoritative. Now, it's like we're children. Oh, it's incredible. Crucially,
the thing is, this is the whole bottom line of it, is that consciousness, that which we are eternally, experiences this reality through the vehicle. And the vehicle itself has the ability to think up to a certain point because it's reacting to environmental influences all the time. What they want to do is isolate our sense of reality into the vehicle and keep consciousness, the soul, some people call it, out of the decision-making process, out of the awareness process, and therefore hold everyone in a state of limitation. So you take a consciousness out of it, expanded consciousness out of it. You can turn people into basically, and it is a sophisticated, more advanced version of robots. You
androids,
computers, and they react as you put input in. You press enter, and out it comes. And what's interesting, Alex, is as people expand their consciousness, and we have this awakening, when they're pressing enter, they're more and more not getting what the computer would normally react with. And
so the establishment
are not buying this now.
So the establishment has to shake things up, have calamities, terrorize the public back into buying the official reality. And the establishment says, if you buy into the official reality, if you do what we say, if you go along with the bailout, then everything will be okay. But then it isn't okay, and they say, well, go along with this again, and this time it'll be okay. So I think in the final equation, they don't want us innately or from our core, our instincts, from the ether, making decisions on our own. They want us with their manual to only make decisions according to what they've prescribed, to never think on our own, but only go off of what Madison Avenue and the map makers of the mind say and engineer. I want your take on that as we go live right now.
Big Brother, mainstream media,